RH incompatibility is the last topic remaining under blood groups. So what does the word incompatibility even mean? When two things are incapable of staying together, then that condition is known as incompatibility. For example, there's your RH positive blood and there's your RH negative blood. RH positive blood contains RH antigen, while the RH negative blood contains missiles against RH antigen. If you mix these two blood together, then the missiles are gonna attack the RH antigen, which will lead to agglutination. That means RH positive blood and RH negative blood can't stay together, and this is your RH incompatibility. RH incompatibility can be seen in pregnant women when the blood of pregnant women or the blood of the child inside her is RH positive and the blood of another is RH negative. Due to this, there's mismatching in the blood type between the pregnant women and the baby inside of her. And this particular condition is RH incompatibility, and RH incompatibility in pregnant women can lead to death of child. Now the question arises, okay, I said RH negative blood and RH positive blood, they can't stay together, they are incapable of staying together. So they are incompatible for one another. And since this incompatibility has occurred due to the RH antigen and the antibodies against this RH antigen, this particular incompatibility is known as RH incompatibility. And RH incompatibility can be seen in pregnant women. But the question arises, so which one is RH negative and which one is RH positive when there's RH incompatibility in pregnant women? I mean, is it the mother that is RH negative or is it the baby that is RH negative? Is it the mother that is RH positive or is it the baby that is RH positive? And to answer this question, you need to know one very simple thing. So let's begin the topic. The topic is RH incompatibility. When one blood type is incompatible with other blood type due to the presence or absence of RH factor, that's your RH incompatibility. For example, in case of pregnant women, if one of the two has RH positive blood and the other has RH negative blood, and in that particular case, the incompatibility between the blood of the mother and the baby is known as RH incompatibility. So basically, RH incompatibility can occur in pregnant women. And this incompatibility of blood in pregnant women leads to the death of the child. The question arises how and why. First, let's look at how. Under the topic of genetics, you have already studied this much. So Mendel, when he was working with pea plant, he observed various characters. And one of the characters he observed or worked on was the height of the plant. And there were two heights, tall pea plant and dwarf pea plant. According to his observation, the tall trait is the dominant trait and the dwarf trait is the recessive trait. What do I mean by that? If you cross a pure tall pea plant with a pure dwarf pea plant, the offsprings, they all come out to be tall because the tall trait suppresses the dwarf trait. And that's why the tall trait gets expressed in the F1 progeny. This much you know from maybe your lower grades or maybe from the topic of genetics. Similarly, there's the play of dominant and recessive trait or the dominant and recessive gene under the determination of RH type of blood as well. The gene that codes for RH positive blood is dominant over the gene that codes for RH negative blood. That is, if there are two genes, one gene codes for RH positive blood and the other gene codes for RH negative blood, and these two genes are kept together, then the gene that codes for Rh positive blood suppresses the character of the gene that codes for Rh negative blood, and the type of blood that comes out to be is Rh positive. Or in simple words, Rh positive blood is the dominant blood type, and Rh negative blood is the recessive blood type. Okay, now let's look at this particular table right here. There's the mother, there's the father. The haploid egg of the mother gets fertilized by the haploid sperm of the father, which forms a diploid zygote, and this diploid zygote develops into a baby. This means that the baby contains half of its genes from father and half of its genes from mother. So, if condition 1, if mother is Rh positive and father is Rh positive, the baby comes out to be Rh positive as well, because both mother and father have the dominant blood type. Condition 2, if mother is Rh negative and father as well is Rh negative, the baby comes out to be Rh negative, because both mother and father have the recessive blood type. If mother is Rh positive and father is Rh negative, then the baby comes out to be Rh positive, because the dominant blood of mother, or the gene coding for Rh positive in mother, suppresses the gene coding for Rh negative in father, and the result is Rh positive in baby. And finally, number 4, if mother is Rh negative but the father is Rh positive, then the baby comes out to be Rh positive due to the same reason as that in number 3. That is, the dominant trait Rh positive suppresses the recessive trait Rh negative, and the baby comes out to be Rh positive. So basically, if there's Rh positive, the baby comes out to be Rh positive. If any one of the mother or father is Rh positive, then the baby comes out to be Rh positive. Okay, simple. Now this baby right here is inside the body of mother. So the blood of the mother and the blood of the baby are at risk at mixing with one another. And if the type of blood present in mother and baby are incompatible, then the mixing of the blood results in the death of the baby. And out of these 4 conditions, in which condition are the blood types incompatible? Let's look at it. Condition number 1, mother is Rh positive and so is the baby. That means the blood is compatible. Condition number 2, mother is Rh negative and so is the baby. So this is compatible as well. So there's no problem here as well. Condition 3, mother is Rh positive and so is the baby. So their blood types are compatible as well. However, then comes the dangerous condition 4. In condition 4, mother has Rh negative blood type, but baby has Rh positive blood type. Shit. In this case, the blood type of the mother and the blood type of the baby are opposite or incompatible. By incompatible, it means that if the blood of the mother mixes with the blood of the baby, then there's danger. Khatra. Why? Because the blood of the mother with Rh negative blood type contains anti-Rh antibodies, or the missiles, while the baby with Rh positive blood type contains Rh antigen, or the target of the missiles. So imagine if the missiles and the target of the missiles are at the same place, the missiles are gonna blast the target and the baby's gonna die. But this takes place in steps, and let's look at those steps as well. So what did I mention? the blood of the mother during Rh incompatibility is Rh negative. This means the RBC, on the surface of the RBC, there's no Rh antigen. And the blood of the baby is Rh positive. This means on the surface of the blood of the baby, there are Rh antigens. These are Rh antigens present on the surface of the red blood cell of the baby with Rh positive blood type. When, let's suppose, maybe during delivery or due to injury, somehow the blood of the baby mixes with the blood of the pregnant women or the mother. So this cell enters the blood of the mother. So here's the blood of the baby with Rh antigen on the surface. Then what happens? To show what happens here, let me zoom this. So here's your mother and here's the baby. The blood of the mother contains RBCs that don't have any Rh antigen on the surface of the RBC. Well, the blood of the baby contains RBC, and these RBCs, they have Rh antigens on the surface of it. So these are the Rh antigens. This is Rh negative due to the absence of Rh antigen. This is Rh positive due to the presence of Rh antigen. Mother has her own immune system. This is the immune system of the mother. God damn it. The immune system has Down syndrome. Okay, this is the immune system of the mother. The immune system of the mother recognizes this cell. Or in other words, the immune system of the mother does not recognize these Rh antigens because it has never seen the Rh antigens. But when the blood of the baby enters the blood of the mother, these immune system, they detect these Rh antigens, and since they don't recognize these Rh antigens, they take these Rh antigens as their enemy. And what do these immune system cells do to their enemies? They shoot them off. That's the tongue. And here's the missile launcher. They shoot the missiles. Sure. These missiles, they attach themselves to these antigens and destroy the red blood cell. And what are these missiles called? These missiles are called anti-D or anti-RH antibodies. This happens during first pregnancy. Like in case of ABO system of blood grouping, antibodies A, anti-A antibodies, anti-A antibodies, and anti-B antibodies, they were pre-prepared and present in the plasma. However, in case of RH system, anti-RH antibodies are not pre-prepared and present in the plasma. Once the Rh antigen gets introduced to the immune system, then are the antibodies formed and launched, which are called anti-Rh antibodies. So during first pregnancies, these antibodies are just made and launched that destroy the blood that is in blood of the baby that has just entered the blood of the women. However, the baby remains safe. Why? Because the antibodies that are launched are IgM or immunoglobulin M. There are 5 types of antibodies that you need to know: immunoglobulin G, immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin M, immunoglobulin E, and immunoglobulin D or gamete. Out of these 5 immunoglobulins or antibodies, the antibodies that are first sent against these antigens are your immunoglobulin M. So during first pregnancy, this is the first child of this woman. During first pregnancy, immunoglobulin M is sent. However, out of these 5 immunoglobulins, immunoglobulin M has the largest size. Since it is so large, it can't penetrate through this placenta. Nope, it can't penetrate through this placenta. As a result, immunoglobulin M never reaches the baby and the baby remains safe. That is, the first pregnancy is safe. However, second pregnancy onwards, the body of the mother now knows these Rh antigens, and the body of the mother is now prepared to fight these Rh antigens by shooting even more dangerous missiles. And these even more dangerous missiles that are shot by the immune system of the mother are called immunoglobulin G. So during first pregnancy, a lesser version of the missiles were sent called immunoglobulin M, which were too large to penetrate through the wall of placenta and reach the baby. However, during first pregnancy, the immune system of the mother now came to know about these antigens. And after gaining information about these antigens, now the body of the mother is prepared to send even greater and stronger missiles called immunoglobulin Z. And out of the 5 immunoglobulins, they are of the smallest size. Since they are small, immunoglobulin Z are small, they can easily penetrate through the wall of the placenta and reach the baby. And guess what happens after immunoglobulin Z reaches the baby? It destroys the blood cells or the red blood cells of the babies. Thus, antibodies, immunoglobulin Z, enters the body of the fetus and destroys its RBCs. This leads to the condition known as hemolytic disease of newborn. This fetus right here is going to be a newborn after delivery. Hemolytic contains 2 parts. There's your heme, which refers to blood, and lytic means lysis or breakdown. Since the blood of this fetus or the red blood cells of this fetus gets broken down by the immunoglobulin Z antibodies, this particular disease is known as hemolytic disease of newborn. It's also called erythroblastosis fetalis. Fetalis cause, here's the fetus, erythroblastosis cause. Under the topic of red blood cell, I have already said to you that during the formation of red blood cell, there's your precursor cell called erythroblast that gets converted to reticulocyte that matures and forms erythrocyte. However, during this disease or during hemolytic disease of newborn, the erythrocytes are being broken down so rapidly that there's no time for erythroblast to get converted to erythrocyte. So instead, the red bone marrow sends erythroblast as it is. And the blood of the fetus, instead of having erythrocyte, contains erythroblast. And what happens when erythroblast enter the bloodstream of the baby? The immune system of the baby recognizes erythroblast, because immune system of the baby knows erythrocyte, not erythroblast. So the immune system of the baby starts killing erythroblast or destroying erythroblast. And this leads to a sudden drop in the number of RBC. And this particular condition where the number of RBC is less than the normal number is known as anemia. Not only that, since the RBC is being destroyed, along with the RBC, the hemoglobin also gets destroyed. And once the hemoglobin gets destroyed, it's converted into bilirubin. And the deposition of bilirubin into the bloodstream leads to the disease called jaundice. This anemia and jaundice together kills the baby, and instead of having a safe birth, there's stillbirth. That is the birth of dead baby. And that's exactly why RS incompatibility is so dangerous for the baby that is to be delivered by the pregnant women. However, fortunately, in today's age, due to modern technology, scientists have came up with a vaccine against RS incompatibility. And this vaccine is known as RHOGM, RhoGAM. RhoGAM prevents the death of the baby even after second pregnancy due to RS incompatibility. How? So the death of the baby has occurred due to these small antibodies called immunoglobulin Z entering their body and destroying their red blood cells. What RhoGAM does is that it acts as a barrier and blocks the entry of immunoglobulin Z into the bloodstream of the baby. As a result, the baby immunoglobulin Z can no longer enter through this barrier due to the presence of a RhoGAM vaccine, and the baby is safe. So fortunately, we don't have any problems related to RS incompatibility nowadays due to the presence of the vaccine RhoGAM. And with that, we end the topic of RS incompatibility. This topic is useful for your entrance examinations, as well as this can be taken as a brief description for the topic of RS incompatibility that you need when you start studying MBBS. Yeah, that's it.